Hey y'all, Rhyme of Reddit Rise here, coming at you with another Post-Mortem attack. Today we're going to be looking through some dragon attacks. Cam02 is asked for a little help with his attacks. This is, to my understanding, his first shots at dragon attacking. I'm super excited to see the TH8s pulling dragons back out again. For a while, at least in our clan, there had been pretty much only hog attacks happening. So very, very happy to see more of that coming in here. So, alright, let's take a look at this first one here. We'll check out the base, and then we'll see what Cam did to it. Alright, so first, quick notes on the base. Some nice things about, some things to note here. Air sweepers kind of aiming this way. I think this is really kind of a bad base design on their part, because the air sweeper is encouraging you to attack from behind it. Like, you don't want to go into the stream, but the ADs are also encouraging you. Like, there is zero reason to come in from this side with a dragon attack. You're gonna get pushed back by the sweepers. The town hall is gonna and the CC, both high health buildings, are gonna tank for you, or tank your dragons while the ADs are hitting them. All right, so taking a look at this, things that we want to make sure we do is create a strong funnel. So the way you do that is you send in drags from the corners to kind of break up the sides, so the sides go down more quickly than the middle, and the dragons kind of take out the center and move inwards as opposed to kind of following the edge, because the buildings that really scare the dragons are right here. It's the ADs, and secondarily, something to note about that. About the dragons is the second most scary buildings are going to be your archer towers and your Teslas. As far as damage goes, the sweeper is also going to just delay you. It'll give you headaches, but it won't actually kill your dragons. So first priority, get the ADs, and then second priority, if you can, is try and take out more archer towers, more Teslas early on, so that they're not cleaning up your drags at the end when you're trying to clean up all the last buildings. So what I do. Is I would, create the funnel. I'd probably be coming in from right behind the air sweeper. Create the funnel here, and on this base, since you've got such good access to all three ADs with a strong funnel, I might go for something along the lines of a 3 or 2 heals and a rage, or 2 rages and a heal. I went back and forth on that at TH a lot, or at TH8 a lot. I think my final, at the end there, I was mostly doing 2 heals and a rage, because I found that just keeping more dragons alive was more beneficial. Because once I got good with the funnels, I was usually taking out the ADs, but then occasionally I'd be getting left behind on the, cleaning up the last archer towers, the last Teslas. They'd catch me off guard, or catch me at the end, and I'd run out of steam. So this base might be a good candidate for that. And then you can take, for your dark spell, you can either take the poison, slow down the enemy drag. I believe it's a drag in this base. But slow down the enemy CC so they can't damage you as much, because it does drop the attack speed, which is important. Or alternately, you can take out the... you can bring an earthquake. And the earthquake will drop any building that's at lower than 25%. So what you do is you wait till an AD that you're not going to quite get is almost dead, and you drop the earthquake underneath it, kind of in the middle of the raid. Use it as a cleanup spell. So there are some thoughts on how I might approach this base. I believe what Cam is going to do, which is also a great strategy, is he's going to take out, I think it's this one, but he's going to ZapQuake an AD. And the way that works is you use 2 lightning spells to do a lot of damage, and then the earthquake, as I mentioned earlier, takes out any building under 25%. So then that building that you just hit there with your lightnings is low enough to get blown up by the earthquake. I haven't seen yet whether you can get 2 buildings with if you position your lightnings right. I saw one attempt on that fail earlier today that kind of messed up a raid that was counting on it taking out an AD and an air sweeper, but you can definitely get 1. And this is better than using 3 lightnings, because you're left with one more spell, one more full, regular elixir spell. In this case, Cam has brought an extra rage spell there, which is great. I love this strategy. Now, knowing that he's going to do that, take this one out. Because that leaves you on the side with the 3 archer towers, which is better because you want to take them out early. And then what I'd probably do is I would create kind of it's going to be a little bit awkward, but kind of a sideways funnel. And this is a kind of advanced funneling. I drop a drag right here. And the reason I drop it there is because oh man, haha, too busy drawn. I'm losing the screen here. Okay, we'll load that back up. Get rid of all those notes. Sorry guys, we're experiencing technical difficulties. I'm probably going to keep this take, because, yeah, because you guys can, that's alright. And I'm super happy with what I'm saying here, so, tons of good notes. I'm just so excited to see drags being used again. Alright, we'll get that base back up there, we'll keep drawing on the screen. And, oops. Okay. Alright, so now it's paused there. You see he did, he ZapQuaked it, you see it blow up there. Now, what I'd love to see him do with his dragons, start it here. Start the funnel here. What that does, taking out an army camp is great for your funneling, whether it's with dragons or with wizards, because it takes up a huge amount of space. It's a 4x4 grid. And that means that everything here is going to funnel in this way. They're not going to, if you drop a drag somewhere in this area, it's not going to wander over to the DE drill. It's going to keep going in, and then you're at least to the wizard tower, and you're into the things you really want to kill. Over here on this side is going to be a little more complicated. I would probably funnel. I drop 2 drags kind of at the beginning, one here, and the idea is that this one might wander over here. And that's okay if one drag wanders. One around the edges to clean up the sides is not a bad thing. It actually helps you on your time. But the oops, let's see, get that off there, making sure the screen doesn't go dead again. But one drag wandering, that's actually beneficial. It's gonna take out things that you might be running out of time to take out at the end anyway. Then drop them kind of slowly in here. So that the rest of your drags funnel in towards the center. In this case, I would drop the loons behind the dragons, and your goal is to get the dragons tanking these shots from the AD, and then drop the loons and have the loons come like right up behind the drags as they start tanking the AD. That takes a little bit of practice to get the timing down. Not always easy, but you can get it and you can get close. But that gives your loons maximum protection from the ADs as long as possible. And then you rage your dragons as the loons are coming up. Because for the dragons, it gives them a little bit of a boost in attack power. I think it boosts the health, but definitely a little bit of attack power. A little bit of movement speed, which is helpful for the drags, but they're slow enough attackers that you really want that attack speed boost. For the loons, the movement speed on the rage is what you want. So make sure they're getting that. Good. So that's what I would have done. Let's take a look at what Cam does here. He ZapQuakes the far side. Great. And then he's going to create a little bit of that funnel I showed you the first time. Yep. So now here, this is where his funnel fell apart. 2 things. One, since he zapped the 1 AD, I would have come in with like an offset funnel. But even if he didn't, he probably would have survived the attack. But he's got right here, he's got a little bit of a funnel, and then he drops them all in the middle, which means they're going to blow up this building and then fan outwards kind of this way. And so he's kind of almost created like a double funnel where his drags are going to go this way and kind of skip the middle. That's dangerous. To avoid that, what you do is you drop one, let those hit for just a little bit, take out a building or 2. It's going to kind of depend on how many buildings are at the edge of the base. Then you're going to drop another 1 or 2, and then you're going to kind of work your way inward. Is the easiest way to get it consistently right. Once you get the hang of it, you can modify that, and there may be situations where you can do something slightly different. But that's the idea there. Here we go. So now they're all hitting the center buildings. And at this point, right here, we're back to basically zero funnel. There's a flat line of buildings at the front. Dragons are going to wander. They're going to get the... I'm trying to remember. I think I watched this earlier, but I'm going to wager, he gets that air sweeper. He might get that front AD, but then his drags are going to split to the winds and just get picked off one by one. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Meet the other one. Could have dropped the rage a little further back, so it caught the dragons, but that's okay. Loons should have been out at this point. Okay, like I said earlier, as soon as the ADs are hitting the dragons, your loons should be getting into range. The exception for that is if you're trying to pick something off the backside with the loons. I could have made a case if I think this raid could have been saved. Drags are it can be forgiving. If at this point, when they kind of took out that first AD, if he dropped his loons in from the bottom side here, AD or Archer Tower, both medium priority targets, and then AD. I think that right there probably could have saved him the raid. Let's see where it goes. Speed it up just a little bit. Still haven't dropped the CC loons. And that might be just an unfamiliarity thing where he's not used to dealing with the loons and how they work. Like I said, I believe this was his first dragon attack ever in war. Yep, and then at this point, there's no tanking for the loons, and they're gonna do a little bit of work, and then they're gonna go down. All right, yeah. So some great things there. I talked a lot about that base and about how I'd change the raid. Hopefully, this gives you guys some ideas for your dragon attacks. In summary, ZapQuake is a great idea and is very, very good for many bases. I think this may have been one of the few bases that I would have recommended something else. But if you're unfamiliar with the original strategy, it's okay to just take the stock version the first couple times you try it. And then with the ZapQuake, I would have come in with kind of an offset funnel, and then make sure you get your loons in there. All right, let's see. We're gonna check out. I believe Cam had one more war attack that he also did with dragons. If that's the case, we'll take a look at that one. Give some suggestions on that, and hopefully give you guys some ideas. All right, here we go. So next base. Let's get this zoomed out. Okay, huge spread out base. I like this. This is a great candidate for ZapQuake. Let's see what we're looking at. Okay, where is the air? Is there an air sweeper here? Am I just missing it? Oh, there it is. I'm blind. It's up on the top there. So we got an air sweeper up here, which means I want to come in from behind the air sweeper somehow. Ideally, we can move in from a flat side is easiest to come in from, as far as funneling goes. But there is, you can do it from any direction. With a corner, like say we wanted to come in from this side, the way we'd funnel it in, take out first couple of buildings, so we've got kind of a flat line here, and then you kind of pretend it's normal funneling from here, send in your drags. Well, I guess you already have a few in the center, so you just time your other ones so that they clear out the side. This top side actually already has a flat. We can kind of create our funnel in all that. I don't think we want to do that. So what I would do, if you look over here, 3 ADs, we're going to ZapQuake one of them. Air Sleeper's cover in this direction, so we want to come in kind of behind it. I would ZapQuake here, create my funnel kind of here-ish. Yeah, somewhere in here. And then release the rest of the drags. So you're generally coming in like this, trying to funnel in. Then that you'll get the air sweeper real early, like even with your funnel, and you'll hit you'll hit into here with pretty early. Just a side note, with the funneling, you can use your Barbarian King to funnel. There is one huge danger in that, though. If the Barbarian King lures a CC troop that is a ground-only hitting troop, you know, your loons hit only ground units, they won't attack your drags, goblins, valkyries, things like that. If you happen to lure one of those, or a witch, the skeletons will chase after your Barbarian King. Those kinds of troops are going to chase after your Barbarian King, and your dragons will chase after them out of the core, which can really derail a raid if your dragons are about to hit the AD, and they instead go after the ground troops. So I might wait and use Barbarian King more as cleanup once you're sure that you've got most of the raid down. That's a style thing. I've done it both ways. Okay, so I think that's what I do. I would come in this side, create a good funnel, ZapQuake over here. Let's see what Cam does. Alright. Speed up into the first troop drop. Okay, so he ZapQuakes far side. Now, big problem with this coming in from this side. That sweeper is going to protect those ADs pretty well. Yeah, I think that's gonna cause some big problems there. Unless he wants to commit some sort of troop from the top side, maybe he throws in a Barbarian King or throws his loons from that side. I think the loons would be more than he needs up there. This might be a good time to bring like 4 of your own loons from the top. 4 level 5 loons. They'd get that sweeper. They'd probably get the wizard tower too. Maybe not a whole lot else. But then that leaves him free to come in from this side like he did. And I should back that up. So here again, we've got that flat funnel that's sending some of his dragons out to the side. You really want to corral them in towards the center. Should have paid a little more attention to that, but yeah, you want to get the sides really cut in deep, and then slowly work your way in from the sides with your dragon drop. Not too slowly, because dragons do take a lot of time to finish off a base. But a staggered drop, moving your way inwards. So he's got a couple dragons wandering off this way, one this way. It's not hurting him too bad yet, and he might get away with it. We'll see. Yeah, and the timing on his loons were nice. I would have liked an earlier rage and maybe one that helped his loons, but looking good so far. Let's see what happens here. And I spoke too soon on that sweeper. I should have checked the range. That the sweeper, it's going to be annoying here, and he's going to get delayed for sure. But it was not as close as I thought. Yeah, and at this point, what's happened is his dragons have just kind of fizzled, and that's because they split up too much in that wide funnel earlier. I don't think there's going to be much more fight left in this. Nope, there's that Barbarian King from the top. But yeah, if he could have gotten that Barbarian King in to get that sweeper before it started hitting his troops, that would have been a huge benefit. We'll see if it actually makes it there. I'm not sure if it'll path right. I think it'll path to. Nope. Yeah, so that wouldn't have helped anyway. All right, so there that funnel hurt, and ignoring the sweeper definitely hurt as well. All right. Well, there's some thoughts. Hopefully this will help you all with your attacks. Cam02, hopefully this will help you with your next dragon attacks. Again, super excited to see dragons coming back at TH8. The sweeper is definitely a nerf to the dragon strategy. Hogs have been the go-to, what I've seen. But there are bases that it's a better call. And sometimes there's just a comfort in using a different strategy. I know it took me a while to acclimate to hogs once dragons kind of fell out of favor, and once I moved up to Town Hall 9, where I was not using the, not able to do the drags as effectively. All right, well, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you've got any thoughts on the videos, if you need, if there's things you'd like to see more of, or if there's, yeah, if you got any questions, things you'd like to point out about the Dragon Raids. I threw out a lot of information in this video, yeah, there you go. Enjoy and happy raiding.